We have 5 games on Saturday night. Is Joel Embiid washed? Is Jeff Green back? Is Luka Doncic the best player in the world? Do we have a new intro countdown music? So many questions. Do I have the answers? Probably not. Let's do a show anyway. This is the Saturday post-game show. Let's go balls deep.
I'm the type to get shit done. You the type to observe. March Madness on my speakers, but today's November 23rd. Got something loud in the blunt, yeah. I don't say what I want, yeah. Probably somewhere sunny getting tan. Foreign women in the sun, yeah. That's all that I need. That's all that I need. That's all that I need. Got my brothers with me. Got my brothers with me, and my mama's healthy. That's all that I need.
Welcome to the Balls Deep podcast, brought to you by Fantasy Basketball International. I'm Adam King. Find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at AdamKing91. Find us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere, everywhere you consume your fantasy basketball content. We are also part of the Old Man Squad at Old Man Squad on Twitter. We have 5 games. The 5th not finished, but it's finished. We won't need to talk about it a whole lot. It might be done by the time we're done. Where are we up to? Let me have a look. We are 8 minutes to go. Oh my God. 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and Portland are winning by 1,000 points. So yeah, we won't need to talk too much about that one. We do have 4 other games to talk about. Let's get into those right away. First game of the night, it was a slightly earlier tip-off than usual. Phoenix at Chicago. The Suns made a move or a change to their starting lineup. Tyus Jones to the bench, Bradley Beal in. And, well, I guess you have to say it worked. They won the game. It wasn't convincing. Beal looked good as a starter, you wouldn't expect anything else. So he, Booker, and Durant, all good in this one. Nick Richards, look, if you picked tonight to play him, he wasn't bad. 15 and 10, no blocks. But he was efficient. He hit his free throws. He played 28 minutes. It's very hit or miss. I think I had him active in a league. I just figured, hey, you're playing the Bulls, you're playing Vooch, he doesn't play defense. So you're probably going to get some boards and play 25 minutes. And I was pretty bang on there. So, yeah, activate him tonight. You don't need to hold him, though, obviously. Royce O'Neal, who had been playing very well, considered streaming him in, and I didn't. And I think that was more because I forgot. Pretty glad I didn't. He had 2 steals. But, that shooting, the scoring was never going to hold. He had 2 points in his 24 minutes. Grayson Allen did nothing off the bench. Tyus Jones moving to the bench didn't help him. 20 minutes, 6 assists and a steal. We don't need to be holding him. And remember when Bol was flavour of the week and was this player we were adding, and I said, look, he's good if you want to take a flyer on him, sure. But they're not winning. He's not helping them win basketball games, which is what their goal is. And he played 13 minutes and had 8 points and 2 rebounds. We don't need to roster Bol. For the Bulls, Lonzo Ball, this is why I don't think he's a must-roster player. 1 of 9 from the field. The minutes are good, 29 of them. But when he's not getting steals, when he's not getting assists, he just doesn't score consistently enough to be a must-roster player. So you can move on from him. Kevin Huerter, 14 points off the bench. Not really interested in him. There was no Dosunmu in this one. So that gave what's going on here? So that gave a few extra minutes to Kevin Huerter. Julian Phillips, look, he had 9 points, 2 steals, a block, 24 minutes. He played over Buzelis down the stretch for some reason. I know they did come out and give a reason. I didn't really read it because whatever, Bulls. Just play him. Give him 30 minutes. What are you playing for, really? Buzelis was fine. 15 points, 3 rebounds, a steal and a block in 24 minutes. He's been a little bit hard to view, I guess, as a must-roster player, but I do think he is. Josh Giddey has been very good since we got into the post-All-Star break, post-trade deadline sort of run of games. Very good. 24 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 9 of 9 from the line. What is this, Josh Giddey? What are you doing to us? Kobe White had 20 points with 8 assists, so good to see him bounce back in this one. And Vooch did play 16 and 11. That's fine. That's sort of just typical Vooch, really. Double-double, nothing defensively, and not super efficient for a centre. So not really what he was doing early in the season, but it is what he's doing now. All right, Brooklyn at Philadelphia. Nets get the win on a Nick Claxton putback, which sort of summed up the night for Philly, really. They worked their way, but just didn't really have a lot go their way. We'll start with the Nets, though. Nick Claxton had 16 and 9 with 5 blocks in 36 minutes. So sell high, maybe. It might be a sell high for him. Day'Ron Sharpe, only 13 minutes, but he had 10 and 7 with 2 steals and a block. That's enough. We'd love to see 18 to 20 minutes, which is what we have been getting. So I would hold him if you've got him. Despite the low minutes, they just went with Claxton here to match up on Embiid a little bit more. Cameron Johnson couldn't hit a 3. He ended up hitting 1 of 9, but he had 23 points with 3 steals. Keon Johnson had 11, 4 and 4 with 3 steals. Killian Hayes started. Didn't do a lot. I mean, there's a reason Killian Hayes has been waived. He's not that good a player, but he had 6 assists, 27 minutes. If Russell misses time, maybe give Hayes a look. I mean, he is a point guard. They don't really have anyone other than him handling the ball at this stage. Cameron Johnson tried his best, but he had a few clumsy turnovers where he was simply just dribbling the ball too much. Trendon Watford had 16 points. He just got hot late, played some extra minutes. Good to see. I do like Trendon Watford, but yeah, he's still in that bunch of guys that are really risky as long-term sort of holds. So Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton, probably Keon Johnson are our 3 that we're rostering. Cam Thomas sounds like he's getting closer. I would say next week at some point he will return, but do remember he'll be limited. He won't play back-to-back. So we're not going to get early season Cam Thomas by any means. Now let's look at Philly. Where do we want to start? Let's start with Grimes. I thought Grimes was pretty good. 16, 7 and 5, 2 steals, must roster player. Yes, hello, son. Maxey was good, 31 points, 5 assists. He's doing everything he can. He's just not getting a lot of support. Oubre had 14 and 5. Not his best game. Still have to roster him. He's playing a ton of minutes. Paul George also played 40 minutes. This was better, I guess. It's still not anywhere near what we'd hoped for coming into the season. Whether he's still bothered by those injuries, I'm not sure, or does he just not care? Maybe. 15 and 7, 3 steals and a block. So numbers are fine. Let's talk Joel Embiid, though. 14, 7 and 5 with a block. 4 of 13 from the field. Didn't hit a 3. Good from the line. He's always been good from the line. I have a ton of thoughts on Joel Embiid. Now, watching him play it's hard, because he is a very good player. We know that. I'm not a fan of his, but he is a very good player. And it's almost sad watching him out there. He is in pain. You can tell anytime he twists the wrong way or does anything, he grimaces. He's not fluid. He's slow up and down the court. There were a number of offensive sets there where he simply stood in the corner, or not in the corner, sort of at the elbow, elbow extended, and didn't move. They ran an offense. Free throws, he is not. He's not even lining up to get free throws because he knows he can't get back. It's hard to watch, and the Sixers just have to get him out of there and try and fix this. And I don't think they can fix it, but you can get a meniscus replacement. I wasn't sure, but you can. I looked it up. So it is a surgery that can be done. I think they need to try it, because if they don't, there is no improving, I don't think, because he basically doesn't have a meniscus at this point. And you can see the size of the brace that he's playing in. That's basically the brace that I'm wearing now, with a torn meniscus and torn ACL, bring that brace to play in. And this thing that I'm wearing is clunky. I can't even imagine trying to play basketball in it. So I'm pretty worried here about Embiid, and I hope that the Sixers just pull the plug, send him off. He didn't talk to the media after the game, whether I don't know what the reason is behind that. He didn't play the last quarter. And to be fair, Philly, Yabusele, these guys, they were playing well. So they stuck with what was working. I just don't think that there's any point running him out there. Get him out, get some professional medical opinions, get some surgery, try and get him right for the start of next season because whatever they're doing is not working. And as I said, it is hard to watch. All right, Lakers at Denver. Lakers get the win comfortably in this one, 123-120. Nuggets looked a bit tired in this. They rested some of their guys, but let's start with Luka. 32, 10 and 7, 4 steals, a block, 8 of 8 from the line. Fair to say he proved the haters wrong in this one. He looked locked in from the start. So good if you're a Lakers fan. If you're a Mavs fan, not good. Looked really good. Played well alongside LeBron. LeBron had 25, 9 and 5 with 3 blocks and a steal. Austin Reeves also filled it up 23, 4 and 7 with a block. Good to see him still putting up numbers. Hachimura had 21 points. He did leave this game temporarily, but came back. He's just going to be a points. DeAndre Hunter, Klay Thompson. Who else is in that bucket? I don't know. There's a few of them. Anyway, he's in that bucket of if you need points, throw him in. Once you're done, drop him. And when these guys are playing well as starters, we're not going to get anything off the bench, and we didn't. Jared Vanderbilt, look, this was interesting. Only played 6 minutes, had 2 steals, had 5 fouls. He was impacting the game very early. And although he only played 6 minutes, I think he played a huge role in sort of setting the tone for this game. He's not a fantasy guy. We know that. He's a steals sort of streamer. That's about it. Finney Smith also not producing, but he's certainly giving the Lakers a really good look. As a unit here, they're playing very fluent. They're fast. Jackson Hayes, they throw him in when needed. He only played 25 minutes here, 4 and 4 with a steal and a block. We don't need to be rostering him. He's going to start, but his minutes are going to be anywhere, I think, between 18 and 28 on any given night. And for Denver, like I said, just couldn't really get anything going here. Jokic had a triple-double, but it wasn't a good one. 6 turnovers, 12 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists. Very passive. I think part of that momentum setting, I suppose, early on with in regards to Vanderbilt was he clamped down on Jokic early, and Jokic was deferring. Teammates weren't playing particularly well, so they just didn't get in a good rhythm here. Westbrook had 17, 4 and 1 off the bench. Only 24 minutes. I think we still have to roster him, Christian Brown, Michael Porter. Just none of the numbers here were very good. Aaron Gordon had 24 points. He was probably their best player. And he's probably the one player out of that starting 5 that we don't need to roster. But you can. I mean, the minutes are there. So if you don't really care about consistent production, you're just looking for opportunity, he's fine. And 4th game of the night. Let's check in on that last game. See where we're up to there. Oh, yeah, it's no better for Charlotte. It's 50 points now. 52 points now. Ugh. Houston fall to Utah. What was the score? 100 and... I did see it. Where are we? 124-115. This was close pretty much the whole way. Utah pulled away late. Houston looked a little bit fatigued towards the end of the game. It was in Utah. They played well, to their credit. But let's start with Houston. Amen Thompson, 22, 9 and 2 with a steal. Look, that's fine. I think given it was a back-to-back, he played big minutes the night before. So pretty happy if you have him on your roster, as you are with Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün. If you added Jabari Smith after last night, this is the Jabari Smith we were getting earlier in the season. 3 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 blocks, 0 steals in 29 minutes. So the minutes are encouraging. he'll be better than this. But if we remember back to sort of before the injury, he was borderline. He was top 100, didn't really need to hold him. I'd probably hold him now just because he's working back from an injury, give him another 2 or 3 games. But do remember Van Fleet will come back very soon. So I could see a world where Jabari Smith can be dropped. Dylan Brooks, we're already there. You don't need to be rostering him. And Jeff Green out of nowhere had 16 points. Didn't do anything else, but nice to see the old fella just out there throwing up shots. We had a Reed Shepherd sighting. We're not rostering him. And Cam Whitmore, he does himself no favours. 10 minutes, 1 point. The one shot he took was a bad shot. He just basically went ISO ball and then threw up this brick. So they didn't play him anymore. Fair enough. For Utah, Walker Kessler played. That might be the biggest takeaway here. Back-to-back, and he played. So he was not too tired in this one. So that's good. 11 and 17 with 2 blocks. Lauri Markkanen also played. Not a great shooting night for him, but he got going in the second half, 23 and 10. Sensabaugh started. We had no John Collins in this one, no Jordan Clarkson. Sensabaugh had 12, 3 and 3 in his 24 minutes. KJ Martin, look, there's an opportunity here for him. I just don't think we're going to see enough of him. They're just not that invested, I don't think, in him. Had some really nice highlight plays. We know he's very athletic, but he needs to be playing 30-plus minutes, and I just don't think there's a path there for him at the moment. Keontae George, apart from the disgusting free throws, he was 5 of 10. Don't know what's going on there. He had 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, looked very good offensively, basically carried them in this one for long stretches of the game. Just want to talk about Filipowski very quickly. Look, the numbers aren't fantastic here, 8, 2 and 3 with a steal in 15 minutes, but he certainly looks better than he did 2 months ago. He is the backup center now. So he's going to play, I think 15 minutes minimum a night. When Kessler rests or it's a blowout or anything like that, Filipowski will play 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I think there will be a point down the stretch where he is a must-roster player. We're not there yet, but if you can stash him, if you are positioned well enough to be able to bench and wait a month, then he could be good during the fantasy playoffs. I'm interested to see what they do with him. And let's look at the last game. Is it finished? Oh, it is finished. All right, hang on. Let me just bring this over here. And let's go down. Oh, so the final score, 141 to 88. Blazers get the win. They were up by, I want to say, 37 at halftime. Can I look at that? Oh, yeah, here we go. 73 to 40. So 33 they were up by at halftime. All right, let's have a look at let's start with Charlotte. Yeah, I'm still sharing my screen. Very good. Very little to get excited about here. We'll start with LaMelo Ball. He was terrible. 5 points, 4 rebounds. Disgusting. So I'm not even going to talk about it. Nick Smith, look, he got some late baskets, which helped. 14 points, 2 assists. So he got you double digits. I guess that's something. Mark Williams was not great in this one either. 10 and 5 with 2 steals. You can basically just rub this game out and forget it ever happened. I'm sure that I know the Hornets aren't necessarily trying to win, but you want to at least look like you're trying, and they weren't in this one. Nurkic had 11, 8, 5 with a steal and a block in 16 minutes. I don't think we have to roster him, but this is what he can do. If Mark Williams gets an injury or he's sitting out, Nurkic is going to be a really nice stream option. We can scroll down and look even further. They went pretty deep here. Diabate had 5, 7 and 2 with 2 steals and a block in 13 minutes. Don't sort of be fooled by this performance and think he's going to play, because he's not even going to be in the rotation some nights. And then let's look at Portland. And honestly, not a lot to take away here either, because it was such a blowout. My guy, Tamani Kamara, 20 and 10, 6 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal he gets the Charlotte bump. Klingon did not, which is a bit disappointing. 8 and 5, steal and a block. This is the risk with Klingon. They just don't, they're not going to play him 28 minutes. If this had been closer, they may have, I guess, but there was just no need in this one. So a little bit disappointing given there was no Robert Williams or DeAndre Ayton, but he's still a must-roster player. Simons was good. Avdia was fine. Scoot, a little bit disappointing, 13 and 5 in his 20 minutes. He's pretty tough. I think he's more of a stash at the moment than a must-roster player. Same sort of goes for Shaden Sharp. He was good in this one, 23 and 5 with 2 blocks. But again, the Hornet bump. Jabari Walker even had 20 and 14. So there you go. That tells you everything you need to know about this game. I actually don't mind Jabari Walker if we get to a point later in the season where he's playing 25 minutes. Both he and Delano Banton, we know, can be silly season specialists. And Jeremy Grant, don't know why he's still out there, but he is 8 and 9, 4 assists, 4 steals. There will be missed games coming up. I'm almost sure of that. Well, somewhat sure of that. Maybe not 100%. All right, let's look at some quick questions. All right, Carl. 12-team, 9-cat league. Is Saar for Collier a fair trade, or is one player better than the other? Well, they're very different. I think it's a fair trade, but do you need assists or do you need blocks? Fairly simple. But I think it's fair. It's not one that people would really question. Since he didn't bother to try tonight and barely played the second half, do I see LaMelo playing the back-to-back Monday, Tuesday? No, I don't think so. I don't know why they would. I wish he would, but I don't think he will. Joseph Kim, are we dropping Klingon, Scoot, pods for Kamara? Yeah, I probably wouldn't drop pods at this point. I mean, look, Klingon, like I said, I mean, he is a must-roster player, but he is 2 categories. That's it. He's blocks and rebounds. So Kamara will get you rebounds, so you don't need to worry about that. So it really comes down to blocks. If you don't need Klingon's 2 to 3 blocks a game, I'd move on from Klingon. Pods, Kuminga coming back is going to hurt him a little bit, but I do think that he's probably still going to... I mean, they're playing well, and he has been a big part of that. Scoot, like I said, he's more of a stash at this point. I'm not sure when the minutes are coming for him. I would definitely have Kamara over all 3 of those guys if that helps, so I would drop one of them. It'd probably be Klingon if you're not desperate for blocks. In saying that, Kamara is actually not a terrible shot blocker. He had 2 tonight. Klingon had 1. So I think you're probably losing blocking upside. But Kamara is, I think I'd argue he's a top 10 defender in the league. He is very good. All right, what's next? Darren Wilson lives in Canberra. There you go. It's 2 of us. There's not many. Need to shout me a beer. If I could get somewhere to have a beer, I absolutely would. There are lots of good places in Canberra, though, to get a beer, so I'm absolutely happy to go and grab a beer anytime. Is Klingon droppable? Yes, if you don't need blocks. Is Chris Dunn still a specialist, or has he done enough to warrant a roster spot? Still a specialist, I think, for me. What is my fondest memory as a Tigers fan? Well, there's only one. It's 2005 when we won, because since then we have done nothing. Probably should have won the comp in 2011 or 12. Forget which year it was. We lost to the Warriors. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because I'll just make myself depressed. So 2005, when we won, was pretty easily the highlight of my life as a Tigers fan because it's the only premiership we've won. If Philly finally shut down Embiid, would I consider Yabusele a must roster? Probably, yes. I think I would. Do I like Collier? Better trade. Oh, so this is, what was Carl's question? It was up here. So this was Saar for Collier, or do I like Collier for Kamara? Oh, so you have Collier. Okay. I would rather Kamara over Saar So if you're looking to move off Collier, if you don't need assists, then I would rather Kamara. He just does a bit more. Sarr is good at blocks, pretty good rebounder, but he hurts your field goal percentage for a big. So I'd rather Kamara there. For a 12-team league, is Moses Moody must roster? Is Buzelis droppable? I think Moody's pretty close. Yeah, I mean, he's been good again. Kuminga coming back, he's going to throw a spanner in the works, but I do like Moody at the moment if he's available. Is Buzelis droppable? I wouldn't, but I certainly understand if you need production now, and look, we're potentially, 2 weeks away from the fantasy playoffs. If you need production now, then he's fine to move on from. He doesn't have top 50 upside, I don't think. Would I drop Buzelis to add Cole Anthony in a 14-team league? I think that's okay. Yeah, again, if you need production now, Cole Anthony is playing. He's playing well. No idea when Suggs is coming back. I think we're still a few games away by the sounds of things. So you might get a week out of Cole Anthony. He's been good. So, yeah, I'm okay with that, I think. Another Collier question from Carl. What do I think of Collier and Day'Ron Sharp for Sarr and LeVert? Thinking you could boost points, blocks, and threes. So moving Collier and Sharp for Sarr and LeVert. I'd rather Collier and Sharp, honestly, just personally, because I think Sharp, if we ever get to that 25-minute stage, he'll be top. He could be a top 70 player, top 60 player. Collier's been really good. Sarr, his offense is up and down. LeVert, he's been pretty good for the Hawks, but I mean, he's still Karis LeVert, so we know where his flaws are. I think that's fair, so I don't think it's an unfair trade or anything like that. But personally, if I was positioned well, I would hold Collier and Day'Ron Sharp. Ooh, Loandes. Are we dropping Ware for Keon Johnson? Yeah, I'm iffy about that as well. Look, again, I think it's hard to know what the Heat are going to do. I like to say that Ware could be a really nice asset down the stretch, but the Heat are probably going to push for a playoff play-in spot here. So his role, this might just be his role now, is 20, 23 minutes a night, which isn't a must-roster role, where Keon Johnson he's a bit up and down, but he is one of those nets that's been consistent enough, I think, to roster. So I'm okay with that. Again, very different. So have a look at what stats you need. Galahad, if you offered LaMelo and Kuminga in a trade, could I get a top 15 player? In my leagues, no, but try. It's on paper. Look, LaMelo is still a top 15 player. He comes at a discount because of the injuries and what he did tonight. So I wouldn't do it now because people are going to go, ugh, and they're just going to think LaMelo is just trash. But if LaMelo can have a couple of good games, again, depends when your trade deadline is as well. So I think you could offer that. Kuminga's probably hard to move at the moment as well because he's coming back off injury. But you can try. Never say never. Who should I drop to activate Beal from IR? Buzelis, Sarr, Vassell, Hartenstein. Not Hartenstein. I'm still clinging to the hope that Vassell, this could bite me in the arse later in the year, but I'm still clinging to the hope that Vassell can be good. So it'd be Buzelis or Sarr. Of those two, maybe Buzelis. I mean, his minutes. Sarr is at least starting and playing like 26, 28 minutes a night. Buzelis has been up and down. Production's been pretty good. It'd be one of those two, I think. When my knee heals, will I try out rugby? I will not. No. If I can't play basketball, there's no way I'm playing rugby. Okay, question from Dave, and this is a 12-team standard league. Have a guard-heavy punt field goal turnover build with Harden, Luka, and J-Dub. Do I think Saar is a good big to keep in this build? Should I try and trade Cat before the playoffs for Trey and another good player? You'd have to look at some position eligibility there with that one. Because obviously, I'm assuming Cat is your starting center, and he is a great fit for a punt, like a guard-heavy team, because he gets some assists, he hits threes, he hits his free throws, he scores points. So he does a lot of what you are looking for from in a build like that. But chances are you probably don't have a lot of centers. So if you were to move him for Trey and another good player, who's going to be your starting center? That's probably what you need to look at. So you probably have Saar by the looks of things, because you are asking if you should keep him. Is he good in this build? Yeah, look, he's not bad. He doesn't score a lot, but I think he's okay from the free throw line, isn't he? Let's have a look. He's actually not that good from the free throw line. 62%. What the hell? What is he good at? Blocks. Trey Young is very good for a build like this. I will say that. I have him in a lot of leagues. Where's his free throws? Yeah, he's actually not a good free throw. I don't have him anywhere, so I don't pay attention to his free throws. So, yeah, look, maybe he's not a great center for this build. So that would be my question. I think moving Cat for Trey and someone else, you could certainly look at doing that. But just keep in mind that Saar is probably not going to be a good enough center to carry you. And so maybe you could get Trey and a center. Look at that. Joseph Kim. Strong in blocks, 2 shutdown candidates, Walker Kessler, Mark Williams. Who is the greatest shutdown risk? It's pretty close. I mean, I don't think either are going to get shut down. Yeah, I mean, I use it too on my own worst enemy. The phrase or the term shutdown is used pretty wildly. Shutdowns only come when there's injuries. So they don't just usually they won't just shut someone down because they don't want to play them. There will usually be an injury involved. Missed games, absolutely. Back-to-backs, yes. I guess we go with Mark Williams at the moment. Kessler played in a back-to-back. So does that mean he's going to play in back-to-backs? Maybe. So I think Mark Williams is probably, if you wanted to look to move one of them, it's probably Mark Williams. And to me, Kessler is just so elite in 2 categories, blocks and rebounds, that he's worth holding. Because even if it's a 4-game week and you get 3 games of Walker Kessler, you could get 40 rebounds and 10 blocks. You're not getting that from Mark Williams. So I don't know if that helps. Buzelis over Saar. Yeah, I think so. Oh, and Dave also had Dyson. You'll be fine then. You'll probably win the league with Dyson. Just saw Harden get traded for Giddey and Jalen Green in a 9-cat. Ooh, what do I think? Well, I mean, it's a trade. Is it fair? Someone's obviously selling very high on Giddey and Jalen Green because they're both playing very well at the moment. I think that's okay. Harden's top 20. It's like a second rounder. Giddey, Jalen Green are probably Giddey's top 60 rest of season. Green can be in that range. He fluctuates a lot, but Houston, he's not resting. I don't hate it. I think it's okay. Dave's centers are Draymond, Saar, and Cat. Oh, yeah, it's not great. Look, Draymond's not terrible in that build. He doesn't score, but the free throws are fine. He's not elite, but he actually doesn't shoot them, so it doesn't matter. He'll give you a 3 every now and then, but he's good at assists. He's fine at steals. So Draymond's not terrible. Cat is elite in that build. So if you were going to move Cat, to get Trey and someone else, then yeah, I'd probably, and just make sure your steals are good too. You've got Dyson, I know that, but yeah, Trey is not great. Well, he's all right at steals, but yeah, maybe you could get back a center that gets you some steals or something. And you traded Levine for Luka right after he got injured. Nice. You'd be happy with today's game then. Joseph Kim again. Dante is going through non-contact. Any idea of timetable? Look, I think it's probably a week. Non-contact, they usually want to do a couple of sessions before they get him on the court. They need him badly. So he will come back. He will play big minutes, but I think we're probably a week away. And there was a beer question. Like a beer question. Someone mentioned beer earlier. Yeah, that was who that was me, and that was a question from Darren. Apparently, we're going to go and get a beer. What is my beer of choice? Ooh, I don't really have one. I just like trying new beers. So I like going to a lot of places around here where we live that just have random beers on tap, craft beers, local beers, sour beers. I just like trying things. So I don't really have a go-to. If I was choosing a beer, I honestly couldn't think of a beer. Like if I went into a shop, I can't remember ever in the last 12 months going into a shop where they sell beer and things like that, knowing what I want to buy. I always go in and I just look for what's on sale, what looks nice, what's new, and that's what I buy. So, yeah, I don't really have one. How far away is Suggs from a return? I thought he was close, but they're taking it very slowly with him. So maybe similar to Dante. Maybe we're looking at a week. I don't know. But again, getting closer to those playoffs, so it is hard to stash these guys. And that will do for the show. Need to head off and do things. I will be back with a actually, will I? What time are the games tomorrow? Let's have a look. It's usually early. Our Mondays here are usually... oh, no, I don't want that. I want Sunday's game. Oh, no, there will not be a pre-game show because the first game here is 5 a.m. Tomorrow, so I'm not getting up that early to do a show. Maybe I'll do something on Twitter. I'm probably not going to do a show tonight because there's a new movie I want to watch. So, yeah, probably no pre-game show tomorrow. I will do a post-game show, though. Oh, and Yuri's here. Am I doing a recap of our mock? A recap show, do you mean? I mean, I'll do something on Twitter. I've got to tweet out the final few rounds. Yeah, look, I might. I might even reach out to you and Kayla and see if you both want to come on the show and we'll recap our teams. If you're open to that, I will send something out in the next couple of days because, yeah, the draft did finish today. So, yeah, I'll probably do a show. We'll find a time that works. It's tricky, I know, with Kayla because she works during the day. I'm sure you do as well. And so tough to find times. It always is. But we might be able to find a time that works for all three of us. I'm pretty flexible at the moment because I'm sitting on the lounge at home. So I do have some time. So, yes, we might do a recap show. Probably do a show with Dan Vespris this week as well at some point. Hopefully back on the mailbag with Josh on Thursday our time. Yeah, missed this week just because of everything that's going on here, but should be good for that. Now I'm going to go. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please go and like and subscribe and thumb and download, do all of that stuff. I'm Adam King. This has been the Balls Deep post-game show. Until next time, catch ya.
You just listened to another episode from the Fantasy Basketball International Podcast Network. Thanks for joining us. And for more information about joining our community, please check out our website.